Hey y'all, it's Nomadic Shaman here. Thank you for visiting my page. Today we are doing part two of my Gangstalking updates for the month of November. Now, I don't remember where I left off, so I am going to read my downloads, that I have been writing since the last update. Last update was made October 2nd, so here we go. If I didn't mention this before, as of today, November 17th, I have not received anything from the courts regarding my case as far as the house that was left for me as part of inheritance and trust funds. Not even information from the courts to bring me in to testify as at least my part. Okay, Spirit is telling me that someone was paid to present as me under my name, under a false identity. So you already know what that is, perjury. Let me also tell you all that I don't know how the process works, but these folks need to be fingerprinted. Fingerprinted and or their DNA, urine, blood, sweat, hair samples. I don't know what's needed to get that information, but that definitely needs to happen because a lot of these folks have aliases and they go by different names, okay? And then they present themselves as somebody that they're not. Is actually through I don't know. I say I don't know, but I know, call it a gift. But I'm able to obtain government names that were given to them by their birth parents or guardians, okay, despite the aliases that they have. Now, so let's go down. Now, I shouldn't say this, but fuck it. I'm going to say it anyways. So Spirit told me I had planned a trip a while back, maybe last year, to go on this cruise. Well, apparently, some of the members of the coven will be joining me on this cruise. One in particular, Spirit is telling me Norma. Norma happens to be the sister of Diana, okay? Diana's a crazy bitch. Norma's right behind her, okay? But Diana takes the cake. She's the one that's actually possessed, that is in need of an exorcism, and I'm saying that as a shaman. Okay. Now, moving on. So apparently, Norma is here to go on the same cruise that I'm on. This is not coincidental. Okay, if there's anybody from the alphabet agencies that is watching this channel, this is not coincidental. Okay. Now, Spirit did inform me that they purchased tickets for the same cruise that I was on. It is 3 members of the coven members. One originally, I'm being told, that was originally when the tickets were purchased, I believe 3 members of the coven: Diana, Rose, and Norma. Okay, these are the 3 names that Spirit gave me, whose intention was to come on the same cruise that I'm on. Now, for those that are wondering, as far as the whole following tidbit, I had learned that the reason why these members of these covens, covens, secret societies, the reason why they follow so closely is to, 1, be able to offset their karma by way of protection from a chosen one, right? And then the other part is so that they can ensure that their spell work sticks, okay, as far as siphoning, harnessing, and harvesting my energy. So it's no surprise to me that they will literally follow me from state to state to state. Okay, so let's move on. So, Spirit did inform me that their intention was to come on the same cruise to perform spell work on me, given that the new moon falls on November 19th. So it's harvesting season, okay? They want to make sure that they get their harvest. To them, am their harvest, okay? So they're trying to extract my energy by any means necessary, okay? Now, moving on, Spirit, it was the other day, there was a member of a coven that came into a nail shop. And you guys need to be a lot more covert, or maybe you guys don't give a shit. So this chick who happened to sit to the right of me, she pulled out her camera and started literally recording me and taking pictures. Okay. And of course, reporting back to who? The crazy bitch, Diana. Okay. So, okay, so now let's move on. What are the other notes that I have? So far, since being where I am now in preparation of my cruise, I've had people drive by the house. I've had people follow me. Again, helicopters and planes, hacking into the internet, into the Wi-Fi. What else can I say? Email blockages, phone conversation blockages, voicemail interception, you name it, they've done it, okay? Let's see. One even went as far as to try to bring in division and dissension. I hope I'm saying that right, between my cousin and I. And I'm going to share with you what they did. My cousin wasn't able to pick up on it. She was able to pick up on the energy, but she thought it was me. So what this individual did was they hijacked the phones, aka hack my phone, right? And then they astral projected into my cousin's home, sent an intrusive thought, presented themselves as me, a shapeshifter. Now, I'll give credit to where credit is due. This person masters shapeshifting, okay, as well as mental magic and word magic. Spirit just told me illusion magic. So if you have to say that her strong suits where she shines would be in shape-shifting, mimicry, you might as well say copycat, word magic, when you send intrusive thoughts and you project it, so you're presenting it as though it's coming from a different source, but in actuality it's coming from a low vibrational being, okay, which is for my spiritualists out there, just be discerning when it comes to that. I was able to pick up on that. My cousin, who's extremely gifted, she wasn't. And there's nothing to say to knock her level of ability, but that just goes to show you the magnitude of being a trickster spirit. I think the reason why I was able to detect it was because this person is always consistently in my energy. So I smell her from a mile away. Even when she shapeshifts or tries to siphon or harness or harvest somebody's energy and cloaks in it, I still smell her. She has a stench in the spirit. Okay. So then the next thing that I wanted to share, the tricky part is this person, not only did she cloak within my energy, but she presented herself to be my higher self. And you're probably like, how, Sway? And that's because at one point in time, she was able to harness, harvest, and siphon my energy, okay? Presenting to others, showing up to others as my higher self, cloning, okay, doppelganger. Physically, it shows up as a copycat. That's how it manifests. In the spirit, cloning. Physically, it can show up as cloning too, y'all. But be very mindful and discerning as it comes to that, all right? So then the next thing that I wanted to share, let's see. Spirit is telling me that there's a coven from Miami that's driving up here to do spell work on me, okay? To watch me, to gang stalk me, okay? I don't know if I went to depth about my one particular coworker, but one of the things that she has done as it relates to spell work was illusion magic, okay, and then also dream invasion, okay. So one thing for certain is if I catch a witch, a warlock, a wizard, an occultist, or practitioner into my energy, if I catch you in my energy on some foul and fucked up shit, you will not be leaving the same. That's a guarantee. Okay. And that's without me even having to lift a finger. Okay. That's how heavily protected I am. The next thing is, one thing I wanted to remind my coworker, because I know she's probably going to come across this video, is you are now connected and tied to RICO charges. If, not so much if, it's just a matter of time. When Diane goes down, she will be ratting out every single person that she worked with because she will want a lesser sentence. This is what I see happening, okay? So despite what she says, despite the money that she's offering, the bribes, the rewards, in order for all the ones connected to her who work under her, even blackmail, because I'm hearing that she blackmails a lot of people, that despite all of her efforts, when her ass hits or butt hits, the back of the wall, however the saying goes, she will be screaming and hollering like nobody's business, making deals upon deals upon deals upon side deals to lessen her sentence. She will be ratting out every single person that's involved and blaming other people, meaning shifting the blame to make it believe that the people she ratted out was coming from a different source. Meanwhile, it was her all this time. Mark my words, this is what's going to happen, okay? Now, let's see. The next thing I did, we already know FBI is watching. I'm not excluded. Unfortunately, there's been so many false reports under my name, under my identity. They're heavily watching me as well as anybody else who's watching me. So we all being watched up in this bitch, okay? That just goes without saying. Now, let's see. This was already shared to me. I became aware of within my apartment complex. It was broken into 4 times. I think I shared that in a previous video. One of the times I definitely know Spirit told me was the maintenance man. I didn't, twice. 2 times was a maintenance man. I didn't tap in on the other 2 times, but that's gonna come. I'll be able to find out, and I'll be able to get government names of all those who came in. Now, who entered my apartment. Okay. Now, let me say this. Diana is connected to, associated with, affiliated with animal sacrificing as part of her coven, her cult, her secret organization. This is the shit that she does. Animal sacrificing, child sacrificing, prostitution, sex rings. Okay, these are, Spirit is telling me this is how she makes the bulk of her money and her income. She's also connected to the government, so she gets paid by the government doing some type of contractual work. Okay, it could be connected to, well, I haven't really tapped into it that much, so I'm not going to say it until I'm sure. But I'm seeing a government tie in or connection as a way of her bringing in money. Okay, as well as, like I said, trafficking. And there's no surprise that she is a pedophile. She liked them young. I literally just heard Kendrick Lamar's voice saying, I heard you like them young. Okay? So I know that those are my ancestors, because you know they like to tell jokes. Those are my ancestors, okay? When I mentioned Diana, that's what they said. Telepathically. They said, I heard you like them young, okay? Now, one interesting thing is, since my last update, any event that I've gone to, I've had an entourage, unbeknownst to me. And then eventually I discovered it, following me from events. Anywhere I went, they were there, right? I also discovered that where I live, specifically in Virginia, the neighbor behind me, I don't know why I'm hearing Jeffrey, Thomas. This can be first, middle, or last name. Jeffrey, Jefferson, Thomas. Okay. One of those. Anyways, they use his shed to come in and out to do all types of shit, but more specifically, spell work and rituals against yours truly, okay? One thing Spirit informed me was a frog ritual. I said, what the hell is a frog ritual? Okay, so this is another way of sacrificing frogs to bring death to abundance, prosperity, healing, renewal, transformation, boldness, harmony, intuition, wisdom, and adaptability. Okay, my spirits just said good job. The next thing that I noticed, I heard pills and potion. Okay, so this is her MO. When I say this is her, I'm speaking about Mariah. They tell me that even though her middle name is Mariah, she goes by Mimi, Diane. These are some of the nicknames that people refer to her as. And if you don't know her, she's giving you a fictitious name. She also likes to go under my name. For those who do not know, my name is Christina, okay? So any type of variation, especially the tarot card readers that I watch, you know, she'll go ahead and send them cards and put them under my name. Chris, not Chris, sometimes Chris, Chrissy, Christine, Christina. Okay, she likes to use my name. Anyways, I also received a text message. Weird, Middle Eastern Broadcasting Center. I had to look that up. I got a text message letting me know that an account was set up. Now, the interesting connection is this is connected to like, I think it's connected to North Africa programming. Diana is Egyptian. Her parents are of Philippine descent. Okay, so she comes from Philippine people, but what makes her Egyptian is that she was born there and she does know the language. She could know Tagalog. Is that how you say? Is that the native tongue for Philippines? She could know that. I'm not sure. What else? Okay, let's continue, right? One interesting thing my spirit guides had shared with me was, in any event, if someone is doing spell work on you, and you practice any form of divination, you can then create an affirmation, a mantra, a prayer to dispel that spell work that was sent to you. So in other words, it renders that spell work null and void and neutralizes it, okay? Neutralizes it so it no longer affects you in the way it is intended, okay? Now, one interesting thing that I did mention in one of my previous videos was the auction block, and how chosen ones are on the auction block depending on your DNA, your energy, your frequency, your vibration, and your light. And a lot of these elites pay for that. I mean, they do a lot of research, gangstalking, right? They have files and files and files, case files on individuals from childhood all the way up to adulthood, discovering or finding out what your gifts, your talents are, down to the Akashic records. This is how they're able to identify what your potential is, whether or not it is realized or not. This is how they become aware of your spiritual gifts. And this is how these elites, once they become aware of your spiritual gifts, this is where they start to bid on your spiritual gifts. And then the energy harvesting ensues, and it's stored and bottled up and sold, y'all. I tell no lies, okay? I tell no lies. Spirit had informed me that every individual who has attempted to reach out in some way, form, shape, form, or capacity, that they were either blackmailed or bribed and rewarded, okay? Which is why it may seem or appear slow moving as it relates to external assistance, okay? Another thing Spirit informed me was chemical warfare. So remember my video where I spoke about the planes and the jets? Well, and I told you how I felt things like literally drop into my mental body, my emotional body at some point. Spirit told me silver dioxide and cloud seeding. Not really sure what cloud seeding is, but that's what came up after planes, helicopters, drones, and jets. Spirit also informs me of flock cameras. Flock cameras, of course, authorities have access to this. So you know where I'm getting at with this is corrupted authorities using flock cameras to run license plates and obtain data. Okay, so they're abusing their power, they're abusing their access, their network and resources to fit their own personal agenda for money. Some, I just heard, and for promotion, and to obtain a membership to these high secret societies, so like the boys group, to be able to gain more access, more network, more resources, more promotions. Okay, my spirit team just told me the property manager where I live at, he fits in that. Okay, meaning he's now part of the boys club. Okay, amongst all the fuckery. Now, but he had to do some grimy ass shit to get there, right? But he didn't mind doing that. And he's gotten a promotion because of that. No difference. There's been hacking, there's been recording phone conversations. Spirit told me that's not always Spirit told me that's FBI, and that's also folks that are gang stalking me, okay? I mentioned before, so apparently everybody's listening in. Apparently, right? Emails, texts, phones, apps, you name it. Okay. One interesting thing that I thought, where I live at in the DMV, Virginia to be specific, they're still sending people's wrong mail to my address. Now, I understand if that happens within the first year, but we're going on 5 years at the place where I'm at. Where am I consistently receiving other people's mail? But it just so happens that the other people's mail happen to be for credit cards, newly opened credit cards, life insurance documents. Yeah. Okay. So I stopped thinking that it was coincidental and it was purposeful. It seems like somebody wants somebody to know that they live with me, unbeknownst to me, which is why their paperwork is being sent to my address. Yes. I just heard yes. Yeah. So anyways, let's continue to move on. Let's talk about offshore accounts. I'm not going to say if, when Diana Mariah gets apprehended, she's going to say that she doesn't have money. This is not true. She's hidden money. She has money hidden in different areas. Let's start. There are offshore accounts. I heard Russia. I heard Ghana. I heard Switzerland. I heard China. Okay, money hidden in ground, overseas, lockbox, in walls, underfloors, in real estate, in jewelry, in the church businesses, organizations, LLCs, okay, in jewelry. I even heard in water, in boats. This can include all or some, but I'll tell you this, I'm not always 100% right, but what I'll tell you is it's at least 2 or 3 of these of where money is hidden, okay? Also, I heard things go missing from the evidence room. So that's another layer to authorities or those who took an oath to serve and protect are now robbing the evidence room, okay, to blackmail other people, to set other people up, to sell and get money. This is what Spirit told me, okay? So you have people in the inside, which is why there needs to be an internal affairs investigation, okay? I wrote this down because my spirit guides told me to. Fingerprint this bitch. Now, Diana has many warrants in many different states under many different aliases, okay? I believe anywhere from 9 to 12 open warrants under her name. It may not be under her government name because she has a lot of different names, but it's under her body, under her person, okay? Fingerprint, okay? And you will find fingerprints. Get DNA and you will find the states that connect, okay, where she has open warrants. Let me see. And I believe that's it. The only other thing is, her sister decided to move from California to Virginia, where I live at. And Spirit told me that, let's see, I'm not under attack by just one coven, but 3. Okay, 3. This is what Spirit told me, 3. Up to 30 people. Up to 30. Could be more. Okay. And then that's pretty much it. The last thing I will say is a maintenance man who went ahead and went into my apartment. People saw you. One of which was a federal agent, undercover federal agent. Okay. So that's my Christmas present to you. And Spirit also informed me that it's unfortunate, but You were being blackmailed to do it. I don't know your history. I could find out. I'm really not interested in finding out. But you were blackmailed to do that. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Because the person that blackmailed you to do that is going to be the first person to sell you out when shit hits the fan. Mark my words. Now, with that, I'm out, guys. You have been caught up. Peace out.